Right, welcome back to another episode of Hooner's Garage. It's pretty much a catch-up day today. I had a bit of a flood in the garage, so I've been clearing that out and tidying that up. So there's not a lot of work that's been going on at the moment while I've been doing that. So this video is just a bit of a catch-up really to show you where I am at the moment with the TZR and the FJ wrap project, fudge wrap. There is a video missing in this where I had my nephew Benjamin, another one of the Garage Goblins. He came out and helped me with the FJ. Unfortunately, that was recorded on an iPhone, and that's a pig to get it off and edit it because it's all in a .mov file. So that's being a bit of a pain in the backside. But as soon as I've got that sorted out, I will post it, and you'll see how not very dirty my nephew gets. He just does not attract dirt at all. Even if he works all day on a motorcycle, he doesn't get dirty. So this is just going to bring you up to speed with where we are and what's going on, and hopefully looking for some ideas of where to go with the FJ wrap project. So that's that. We'll see how we go then. Right, so here we are with the familiar shape of the TZR. All the wiring is pretty much done. It's all wired in now. I've wired in the rear brake switch, and that works. The indicators, everything else still works, so that's all looking good. The new air filter on there, so we're pretty much coming up to the final part of the dry build for the TZR. I still need to figure out exactly how I'm going to be housing the clocks and how I'm going to do that, because I can't leave them like this. It needs to look somewhat smart, but I'm not sure what's going to be happening there. But there we go. So that's coming along quite nicely. Yeah, it's just really finishing in the dry build, and as I understand it, this is where it starts to get more and more difficult now, because most of the easy stuff is done. So it's just a case of the devil in the detail, making sure everything is correct, yada 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 yada. Fabricate some parts. I've still got to sort out the fuel tank. That's still rusty as hell inside. The seat. And I still can't find the tailpiece that goes over there. It's a little tiny bit of plastic, and I don't know where it is, that I have prepped and sanded. I've got the side pods, so we'll have an episode of painting those. I think the whole thing is just going to be satin black now. So the paint project that we were doing there, that turned out to be a total disaster. I got this cheap paint from just a pound store, and it had a week or so to get off, but as soon as you put any masking tape on it, it just produced a load of marks that don't come out, and it's really really bad. So I think it will be Halfords. The expensive Halfords paint didn't do it, but all of this cheap stuff, it just, I don't know, it sort of took the pattern of the masking tape when you put it on there, and it just looks awful. So bearing in mind I want to mask the tank to put some designs on it, I think the cheap paint is going to be a false investment. So make the whole thing satin black, it should look good, and then I'll come up with the design to go over the top of it. I've also got these are steel cabinet doors from a server rack. There's a few of them. These shorter ones actually make really good shelves, so that was kind of handy. I got them free from work, they were just going to bin them. They are steel. They are covered in some sort of powder coat, but I can use the flapper disc on the angle grinder to get rid of that. So I've got some metal to fabricate, solid and perforated. I don't know if those are going to be useful, but they were free, so I picked them up, and I figured whatever, if they come in useful they do, if they don't I can always scrap them. So that was handy. So yeah, so the paint job on that test piece didn't go quite as well as I thought. Oh yeah, and that big horn will get moved as well, for something a bit more discreet. But there we go. So that's where we are on the TZR at the moment, approaching the final bits of the dry build. I do need to find a way to mount this. That's the rectifier regulator, the ignition control unit thing, because the rubber mount, there's a metal bracket here and a metal bracket underneath, and there was a rubber mount that went on over those two that this slid up, but that is just knackered, just fell to pieces. So I've got to find a way of attaching that to the bike, but there's no holes or anything you can screw it in or anything else like that, so I've just taped it on for the moment just to hold it in place so I can get all the wiring done correctly. Nice new loom in there. So yeah, but that's about where we are for the FJ. So I'll put this back and I'll get the TZR. I'll put the TZR away and I'll wheel the FJ out. Right, so here's the FJ, slightly shorter than it was before, as the back end has been removed, which I think does make it look pretty mean. I do like it that short. So turn it into a single seater. I've got to fabricate something to hold the lighting at the back, or I guess I could do a side mount or something. I don't know yet how I'm going to do that. I've just put the front fairing back on to see how it looks with the fairing and that seat on it. That doesn't look too bad, but I'll get the fairing off and you can have a look at it in without the fairing and see what you think. Okay, so that's without the fairing. Now personally I think that looks brilliant. I think that looks absolutely superb. Short, mean, nasty. That's how I think that's how I prefer it without the fairing. But the benefit of the fairing is it hides things like this digital igniter, it says in this, so I guess that's the CDI, and other things like these, which I guess aren't supposed to be subject to the weather and road spray, and obviously this front part of the loom. I guess that I can move all of that stuff and tidy it up and, you know, bring it up around here or something underneath so it's a bit more out of the way, but I don't know. I'm not sure how easy that's going to be, but I really like that shortened look. As for the seat, I don't know. Let me take that off. So like that, and I'm thinking a smaller seat, but the problem I have here is that there's this, which I'm guessing is some sort of overflow from the tank. So if I build a seat pan that comes in there, I've got to find a way of hiding that, or because I'm going to be sat there obviously, of doing something with that. So I don't know, but I really do like it. If you imagine that completely matte black, I think that looks pretty groovy. So what I might do is strip all the foam off the seat. I can then use the base to make something different for the rear seat assembly, because it needs to have a bit at the back that I can put a tent and sleeping bag and stuff like that when I go to rallies. But I could just fabricate or do something that goes there, but then you get this hump here. I need to take that into consideration. I don't want to lay it too flat across there because I don't know if the rear wheel is going to foul on it when the suspension goes up. So, but yeah, I really like that look. I just need to figure out what I'm going to do if I keep it that without the fairing, how I'm going to do it with that, and obviously how I'm going to arrange the clocks, because this is zero budget. I don't really want to spend any money on it, just using the stuff that I've got. But the clocks are mounted to the front. They've got them all piled up over here. Are mounted to the front bracket there. So I'll get those out. So this is the bracket that bolts onto the front that the fairing attaches to. Headlight, obviously. That is crap. The headlights on the FJs are really poor. I mean, high beam on it, you're much better off actually riding everywhere on low beam. The high beam is really crap. So if I keep it like this, it does give me an opportunity to mount some decent headlights on it. The clocks, however, those I think are going to need to be covered, because you can't leave all of this exposed. I'm assuming it's not going to do it any good at all. So I need to come up with a solution for that as well. Either some aftermarket clocks, nothing like the digital clocks on the GSX, but something different. I'm not sure, but I do really like that shortened, more aggressive stance, and that obviously then sits out the front and it brings it out to about there, which I'm not overly keen on. I think yeah, I don't know. What do you reckon? Some ideas? Right, so there we go. Like I said, just a short one today. It's just, there isn't really a lot of time. It's about 5 o'clock now, and there's really not enough time to get stuck into something after clearing the garage and getting it all sorted out again. So it's just having a look around. I suppose it's taking 5 minutes just to stop, have a look, think of some ideas, what's going to look good, what's not going to look good. I think putting the fairing back on the rat bike would be easier. It would solve a lot of problems. Just not sure I like the look of it. I quite like the look of it naked with a shorter back end. So I'm not really worried about making it easier as such. I think I'm more worried about making sure that it looks right, and if that requires a bit more work, then so be it. I'd rather not go for the easy option. But you never know. Next week I might muck around with it and decide that I like the fairing on. So we'll see how it goes. But any ideas? I'm open to suggestions. But there we go. Like I said, that was just it for today. It's just a day of just having a look and having a think, a bit of taking stock of what's going on. I tend to find that if I rush in and just bam, 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 and then finish it, it doesn't always look how I wanted it to look. So sometimes I think it's just nice just to stop, have a look at it, play through some more ideas, see what you go through. But there we go. So it's just a catch up really. As soon as I get that video edited, or I'm able to get that video edited with my nephew on it, I will do so. But that's even going to involve an Apple Mac. I've tried converting the files to ones that I can edit on my PC, and it does, the drop in quality is pretty crap, even for a YouTube channel. So it's a bit of a pain in the backside. I do know I do have access to some Macs. It's just getting the time to sit down and edit them. So I'll get that one up as soon as I can. But there we go. That's it. Just a quick one, just to keep you all moist with excitement. And yeah, ride safe, and I'll see you on the next episode of Hooner's Garage.